Erbolgan Erbosynov is in his element on the water. Lake Balkhash is his home.
Balkhash is a lake, but we call it the sea.
Erbosynov is a fisherman, one of hundreds who depend on these waters. Balkhash lies in Kazakhstan and is one of Asia's largest lakes. But now its existence is acutely threatened, and with it the livelihoods of more than 3 million people who live in the Balkhash basin.
Life without Balkhash is not life. We need the lake.
The day begins early for the fishing communities of Lake Balkhash. They have to check all the nets before it gets hot.
We're flying.
Balkhash is distinctive. Part of the lake is freshwater and part saltwater. This treasure of southeastern Kazakhstan is 600 kilometers long and 70 kilometers wide, with an average depth of around 6 meters.
Balkhash keeps us alive.
For more than 20 years, Erbosynov has earned his living by fishing on Lake Balkhash. He has a license for a specific fishing area. He works there together with a few colleagues. They're allowed to catch up to 100 tons of fish a year.
Fishing is hard work, and sometimes it's very dangerous. You can even drown. There are dangerous winds here, and waves up to 2 meters high. I've been caught in a storm 3 times. It was terrible. I barely made it to shore.
Today, the weather is calm, ideal for fishing. But Erbosynov says that fishing away from the shore requires good boats with powerful engines. It's much more complicated, and it costs money. Money that the fishermen here often don't have. That's why they mostly ply their trade along the coast. Erbosynov checks today's catch.
How's it going? How much did you catch? Not much.
This isn't the first time that the fishermen of Balkhash have come home with nearly empty boats. One of the reasons they have so little yield is the snakehead fish. Erbosynov says it suddenly started appearing in these waters a few years ago.
The snakehead eats all the other fish. They're afraid of him. Soon there will be only one fish in the whole Balkhash lake, this snakehead.
The snakehead is a super predator that has no natural predator in the lake. The people of Balkhash are certain the fish didn't end up here naturally. One theory is that it was brought here from a zoo in Moscow. If true, it would mean that humans have altered the Lake Balkhash ecosystem. Besides other fish, Balkhash snakeheads eat frogs, young birds, and even muskrats. But Lake Balkhash faces a much bigger problem than a mere predator. It's drying up. If Balkhash disappeared, there would be catastrophic consequences for the entire region. Meanwhile, Erbosynov and his crew prepare their catch for processing. They weigh the fish and put them on ice.
Is that enough ice, Maha?
With ice, the fish can stay fresh longer. Soon they will be taken to market in Almaty, the largest city in Kazakhstan. There are still a range of fish living in Balkhash.
There are carp, catfish, pike perch, and there are small bersh. But snakeheads are increasing.
Erbosynov doesn't know how best to take on the snakehead. Authorities don't permit unlimited fishing of the predatory species. Plus, the snakehead is hard to kill.
If you catch a snakehead and put it on the ground, it can survive for up to 6 hours without water.
This carp was swimming in Lake Balkhash just an hour ago. Now it's about to be on the fishermen's plates. Erbosynov reveals a fish recipe he learned from his father.
Fried fish is best eaten with onions. It tastes better that way. At least it does to me.
Even fried snakehead tastes good, but it too could soon disappear if the lake continues to shrink. Scientists say action needs to be taken very soon in order to save the lake. Mels Yelosisov is a well-known environmentalist in Kazakhstan. He has long fought to prevent Balkhash from drying up. For him, it's clear that the problem lies with the lake's tributary, the Ili River.
80% of the lake's water comes from the Ili.
However, the Ili River isn't wholly in Kazakhstan. It also runs through western China, a region that's seeing rapidly developing agriculture. In recent years, the Chinese have been drawing more and more water from the Ili. Scientists at Oxford University have developed models to show how the situation might progress. In most models, they concluded that China would have to drastically reduce its water consumption in order to save the lake. But China is unwilling to actively address the problem. Scientists say authorities there don't provide reliable data on water consumption. In addition, the Ili River flows through Xinjiang province, a focus of the international community because of the persecution of Muslim minorities.
Humans are like the snakeheads, destroying everything around them. The destruction of Balkhash isn't good for anyone. The Chinese will suffer too, because the salt that rises into the air from the lake bed is dispersed by the wind and salinates the entire Almaty region, even the glaciers, and that will lead to tragedy.
The environmentalist says that much depends on China's policies, but also on global warming and melting glaciers. The glaciers maintain water levels in the Ili. If they disappear, there will be no more water in the river. Less water means more salt in the lake. This is another reason the fish are dying out. Lake Balkhash could end up suffering the same fate as the Aral Sea. It too was once a treasure of Kazakhstan, but has now almost completely disappeared from the face of the earth.
The Balkhash feeds us. Without our lake, we wouldn't survive. If the water level drops sharply, there may be dire consequences. Wild animals will disappear, and domestic animals couldn't survive without its water either.
Near Lake Balkhash is the small village of Kharoi. This is where Erbolgan Erbosynov lives with his wife, eldest son, daughter-in-law, and grandson. His younger son lives in Almaty. Life in Kharoi is not easy. Almost 2,000 people live here, but there are hardly any businesses or employment. Time in Kharoi stands still. It looks the same as it did 10 or 20 years ago. Many residents are unemployed. Some try to get by with odd jobs. Others keep cattle and goats, but livestock also depend on the water from Lake Balkhash. Erbosynov says that the lake is the only source of food for many residents. Like many others, he began fishing to feed his family. He had no other choice.
I was born here. If we don't preserve our environment, if we don't protect it from disasters, then our children and our grandchildren won't be able to live here in the future.
In Kharoi, Erbolgan Erbosynov is well known and respected. The villagers discuss what they will do if the water in the Ili River runs out and the Balkhash dies. Here in the village, there's a much-loved song about Kharoi and Balkhash. It praises the land here as generous and rich.
Taudarhan Kharoi atalı ben jerde de aspanda da batalı ben.
We want to always have water in Lake Balkhash and the Ili.
Erbolgan Erbosynov enjoys coming to the shore of Balkhash in the evenings. He hopes that people will realize the lake's value and act to save this treasure of Kazakhstan.
Orpağın görse caynap bölünbe ya.